Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV, dear viewers. And in this segment, we have the authorities are working around the clock to host, on behalf of the African continent, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change 2022 in Sharm el-Sheikh. Of course, dear viewers, the climate exchange or the climate change conference, which is one of the most famous conferences, is going to be taking place here in Egypt, the most important conferences as well. The year's international gathering aims to establish legally binding commitments for developed countries to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Egypt focuses on urgent and priority issues in the African continent, especially and in developing countries in general, such as adaptation and climate finance. And in this context, and to shed more light on the preparations of this very important conference, we have with us today a very special guest, Dr. Mohamed Noureldin Ibrahim, Vice President of the Egyptian Scholars Council for Economic Studies. A very good day, sir, and it's a pleasure to have you with us in today's episode of Nile.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Dr. Ibrahim, in preparation for hosting COP27, Egypt launched a number of smart green initiatives. Would you tell us more about these initiatives, highlighting their objectives, and how does the green economy contribute towards environmental sustainability?
First, I'll ask you to give me just 1 minute to talk about the problem itself, the greenhouse effect, which is it's a big problem. It is the problem of the whole world, and the reason for it, it's the pollution. It's known that's the pollution. Last session, it was in Scotland. This session, it's done in Sharm el-Sheikh, and I wish, as a scientist, it will be unique, and we will do something different than the previous one, such as think of some solution to this problem for the world. If we do that, we will make a mark, and we will prove that Egypt, it has a role in solving the big problem like that. We have a lot of scientists all over the world, and we want to use them. And actually, I need to invite these scientists who is in everywhere, in Japan, in Germany, in Australia, everywhere. These people, if you invite them and let them think about the problem, the cause, and the solution, they will put a solution as a preparation and put it before the president and the kings of the whole world come. So they will evaluate the problem and the solution, and they might accept it. And if they do, then we will mark this as a very important session, not like every other one, which is concentrated of the harm of the underdeveloped country. It will this problem will touch everybody. You are thinking of tsunami, there will be a lot of tsunami. You're thinking of death, there will be a lot of death. The problem is big. The cause of the problem is the fume. Go to the upper area for in the sky, making a cloud. What is the usual about the temperature? That part of the temperature will go out of space. This cloud, which is based on the fume, especially carbon, it stops some of this heat to go out in the end of the day. In the night, it goes out of space. So you start the next day with a little lower temperature. If that things disappear, then gradually you are building up temperature. Everybody feel now that temperature is different. And when the Earth reach 3 degrees, this is a disaster, because it will be it will be a drought. A lot of any low land will be covered with seawater. The two poles, the South Pole and the North Pole, will melt. This mountain of ice, which is being built through thousands of years, will be melted. If it melted, it means the sea level will be different, which is we depend on the sea level to measure all the heights. The sea level itself, it will change. All lower land, including 20% of our land, because it's built by the when we used to have a flood from the Nile, and then before all these dams happening, it built up, and this area is low. 20% of the Nile area, which is agriculture, will be flooded with salty water. A lot of countries will have the same, like Holland. So we have to face it as a united people. And if it comes, the solution from Egypt, from the scientists of the Egypt, as a preparation, I invite them to come and give the solution. The solution is very simple. You have to stop cutting the forests. It is going some underdeveloped country. They will cut the forest and use it as a fuel. This forest is the lung for the earth.
They cut the forest and they use it as what?
As a fuel. They turn it into coal and burn it and get some energy out of it.
Oh.
They have to stop it. On the contrary, to solve this problem, we have to increase the size of the greenery in the whole world. And if Egypt take this initiative and do it, this particular meeting will be different and will give a solution to the whole world. Simply, to make more greenery, number one, use the water, which is some big river, through a billion of ton of water into the ocean. A conference like that, which is held in Egypt, about 40,000 persons is there. If some of
they're attending the conference.
Yeah, they attended the conference. It should be different from the previous one, which was in Scotland. And that's what we wanted to do. We have a lot of scientists all over the world. We should invite them. If we have 40,000, if we have another, say 1,000 more, which is some of the scientists, which is some of them in Australia, some of them in Germany, some of them in Japan, invite them. And then let them put some solution to the problem for the whole world, and that will mark this particular conference and make history for Egypt. The other thing is what is 1,000 to 40,000? Get just 1,000 of our scientists, and they will give you the solution. If you make the meeting, all the big country wants to say how much we will reduce the pollution this year, how much we will produce next year, and the problem is building up every year. And if the world has suffered from tsunami, there will be many tsunami because if you think of the South Pole and the North Pole disappear, that will upset the balance of the Earth. So you have to know that it's a big problem, and we have the solution in our people, which is scattered all over the world. We don't have lack of mind. We have them. Let them put some solution and suggestion to the king and the president who's of the whole world, which will be present. Let make something different.
Sir, Dr. Mohamed, Egypt is, of course, has taken many steps to transform to a green economy. Would you tell us more about this focusing on the environment-friendly projects implemented in the various fields?
I put my hat up for them, because if they start having cities like we say Aswan, it's a green city, and then next another city, that will be good. It's a very good step in the right direction, and we would like to see that a lot. So that's very good step. And also, I mean, we are producing gas. And gas, it's less, it gives less pollution that the diesel and the petrol or the coal. If we use that, we will start giving reducing the percentage of pollution in the whole world. And actually, Egypt, they are taking a step that they will take the gas from other countries who produce it in the Mediterranean Sea, like Israel and Cyprus, and they're going to change it from gas to liquid, because we have the expertise, and we are doing them a favor. If you use more gas better than the other fuel, you are helping the environment also. That's very important point. We have to put it there. The role of Egypt has to be there because we are a very old civilization, over 6, 7, even 10 years, 1,000 years old. So we have to act like that.
Yes. But taking from what you're saying, Doctor, Egypt is actually pressing ahead with so many projects when it comes to renewable energy and utilizing renewable energy in so many projects, and how this affects climate change. It's also raising so many awareness programs in this regard. How do you see that?
Yeah, well, I have to mention to you that the electricity which is produced by the sun power, if we are capable of make a lot of places, because if you think we are living on only about 7 or 8% of our land and the rest is empty, fancy some of this, if we use 30% and bought some project to which is producing the electricity by the sun power, then we will be very friendly to the whole world, and we'll set a very good example to the other country, and maybe we can send what is extra of our electricity to Europe, and they will like that, because Europe, every place there is some people there. We are the only country, among a few countries which has got a lot of places are empty. We use them to produce this clean energy, and that's very important. One more thing, actually, there is 2 ways to use the sun power. One of them to use the sun power to produce electricity. The other one to use the sun power to make the water hot. So I dream that one day we produce, it's a different one, because actually you are using, we are magnify the power of the sun and get boiled water. This boiled water, you use it on top of every building. If you do that, you use less harmful energy for yourself to heat the water. You will have it, and it's very easy to produce. We don't need to get it from abroad. The section in the army, which is the engineering and all, they can produce that in their factory. They are capable of that. We don't have to bring it from abroad.
The role and the importance of the private sector, sir, and of course collaborating with the state governmental organizations here in Egypt, of course, to work on implementing what all you've been discussing about clean energy projects, sir.
We have the potential. We need to use it. As I said, you don't have
the potential is the private sector?
The potential, you have to start by the head of the state, the president, and the prime minister. They will say we will produce, for example, we will produce this heating system. First, we will use it for government. Secondly, we will use it in hotels. Thirdly, we will encourage the people to put it in the building, because it needs to have a storage area which is isolated to keep the water hot even in the night. So we will cut it. We will put it on your bill. The electricity gradually you will be paid for. You will have to get a facility, a good way of finance it, easy for the people to adapt to that.
Sir,
then you will be more green.
Is the means of financing going to be the private sector?
Private sector will get it, but they will ask in help from the government by saying the government are controlling the electricity. Put it in the bill slowly. We will get our money back. That's the way, because my mind in economy, I think of the way of financing any project. So any project will succeed if you give the way of financing in advance. And I tell you something, we have a potential to produce a lot of electricity in a very, very clean way, because we have the space. Simply, we have a lot of space empty. That's a good chance.
Dr. Ibrahim, since the announcement that Egypt is going to host the upcoming COP27 here in Sharm el-Sheikh, there have been numerous efforts in order to transform Sharm el-Sheikh into a green city. that is one of many other steps in this regard. Also, state agencies have been working to prepare for the global event. As you mentioned, around 40,000 participants are expected to come to Sharm el-Sheikh for the event. So how do you see that?
I see that Sharm el-Sheikh is a tourist area, and the heights of Sharm el-Sheikh, it's been controlled already, and it consists of a lot of hotel and a tourist area. So once you have decided to use a clean energy there, you can apply it because it's controllable area. That's number one. Number two, the people comes direct to Sharm el-Sheikh. You have a airport there. Then the people, when they know that this is a green area, you are going to make a very good boost to the tourism. I dream that one day the people will leave their car outside and use a train which is worked by electricity, which is produced by sun power, and take them to their places. Let them leave their car outside and keep Sharm el-Sheikh clean.
Looking forward to that. I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. Mohamed Noureldin Ibrahim, Vice President of the Egyptian Scholars Council for Economic Studies. Thank you.
Can you give me just one extra minute?
Sure.
I just want to make a plea to the President and the Prime Minister of the country. Please invite another 1,000 persons to the 40,000 from our scientists abroad, and let our embassy and consulate work out and get them people who knows about the problem and who knows about the solution of our scientists, which is scattered all over the world. Let them put some solution, so the president and the king, when they come to there, they will have some suggestion for the solution for the whole world. Let us mark Egypt as one of the first civilization in the whole world by trying to put a solution for a big problem in the whole world.
Looking forward to that, Doctor. Thank you very much for being with us, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us in this segment. But still, we have much more yet to come. Stay tuned in this edition of Nile Cruise.